Good evening. This is the Town of Winchester Zoning Board of Appeals regular meeting for Tuesday, November 28th, held in the Francis P. Hicks Room here at 338 Main Street at the Winchester Town Hall, and broadcast live on YouTube TV. Present tonight are regular members Paul Marino, John Pollock, Ron Dew. Excused absent, Aubrey English, and excused absent, Ellie Gunn. And also present are alternate members Paul Mitchell and Ryan Horvey. And for the purposes of tonight's meeting, we will be seating both Paul Mitchell and Ryan Horvey as voting members. The ZBA process requires 4 affirmative votes. A simple majority is not enough to get your project approved. So once you've gone through the presentation and we've gone through the public hearing, and we will discuss among the board and then take a vote, you need 4 affirmative votes to pass and get your project approved. Typically, and I'm going to, I think, err on the side of caution, typically we have always offered applicants who are going to have less than 5 voting members the opportunity to postpone their hearing because they have to get a unanimous vote. And I won't be voting this evening. I'll be abstaining. So you have 4 other members that would have to vote yes. That would be completely up to you, but as a matter of rule, we typically offer that to anybody that doesn't have a full 5 voting member board. Up to you completely. It would delay you 30 days, obviously. Or actually, no, it would delay you into January because our next meeting now won't be till January the 23rd. Not saying you should or have to. I'm just offering that to you as an opportunity. Okay? Once we call your application, you'll have the opportunity. You'll come up to the table. Please state your name and address for the record. You'll present your application, your project to the board. We'll have an opportunity to ask questions. We would then open it up to the public, although I don't see much of a public here this evening, so that'll be a quick part. We'll give you an opportunity to say any last words. We will close the public hearing, discuss it among the board, and put it to a vote. So that's the procedure here at Zoning Board of Appeals. And let's get started, and we will call ZBA E number 23-2, special exception application at 221 Perch Rock Trail. Applicant is Frank Pizzo, and owner is Linda Jesse. And if you would, come on up. And again, please state your name and address for the record.
Frank Pizzo, 221 Perch Rock Trail.
Linda Jesse, 221 Perch Rock Trail. That's not our permanent address.
Right.
Okay.
That's fine. Lance, do we have all the proper mailings and notifications?
You have the buttered mailing and the legal notice, which I'll read quickly. Town of Winchester Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing at their regular meeting on November 28th, 2023 at 7 o'clock p.m. in the P. Francis Hicks Room located in the 2nd floor of Town Hall at 338 Main Street, Winstead, to act on the following. ZBA E number 23-2, special permit location 221 Perch Rock Trail, applicant Frank Pizzo. All right, thank you. And owner Linda Jesse. Proposal: build a new 11 by 13 patio, which we'll discuss, to allow steps into the cottage, requesting 19.2 front yard setback. Interested parties may appear to be heard. This was dated on November 15th and ran in the Republican Herald on November 17th and November 24th.
Okay, so this is for, as Lance said, an 11 by 13 patio, at least that's what the application says, and you're requesting a 19.2 side yard. So you have variance on the bottom of the,
It shouldn't say variance.
okay,
That
so this is a
was
special
misspelling.
exception we're actually looking at.
Yeah.
All right. I think the big question here, we've looked at the we've looked at the site plan, and the little dotted line with the orange is the spot where this structure, whatever it is, and I think that's the part of confusion here, the structure is going, right? And it goes out no further than the current building
Correct.
towards Perch Rock Trail,
Correct.
and no further towards 223 Perch Rock than the current building.
Correct.
Okay. Tell us about what you're doing.
Because it was my idea, I'll go first. It's just basically to have a platform with some stairs to lead in, rather than just a traditional straight step going out of the cottage.
So it's kind of a small deck? Is that how you would describe it, with a railing? Would Lance's rendering give it some idea in terms of what you expect it to look like?
I think so. I mean, what we, because that's going to be the front entrance to the house, it gives us, it's a combination of, we don't have huge plans for this, so it's not as though we've thought it out in a very detailed way, but the thought was, okay, this gives us room when you're going upstairs to put your groceries down, have enough space. It kind of fills in that square area. If we wanted to, we could put a chair out there, but there's not a lot of room for that.
Do we, so, one of the challenges for us on the board tonight is do we have dimensions? Is it 11 by 13? Is that what we
Correct.
are showing for dimensions?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know what that page is telling us.
There's a second packet that you guys got. I made it today. This is the application that came in for the zoning permit, and it has a little bit more information.
When you say for the zoning permit, for the building
Right.
permit?
Well, this is where there was a little bit of confusion, I think. We originally thought it was going to be a patio, so we thought it was gonna be just a zoning permit that would be required. And then we were talking with Jeff and Bill, when we realized it was really more of a deck porch. It will have to meet building codes, obviously, and then the application for the special exception was presented.
So
But there's
the-
there's information in this packet as well for,
Here's the challenge that I'm seeing here is we don't have a drawing in terms of what you actually want to build, right? Because if you put a roof on this, for example, if you want to have stairs with a overhang or a roof on it, that's a completely different approval than what we're talking about here.
No, we
It's not
don't.
our intention.
No, and I thought that was, what we had applied for. I mean, I
I literally just look at it as a platform, like Linda said, that we can stand on and then take 2 or 3 steps down.
Simple deck. It's got a wood deck.
Yeah.
Wood deck, yeah. I use the word patio because I think I worked with the town, building department, what to label it, and what to call it. And when you do it online, they don't give you a lot of,
it should come up as deck.
Yeah, patios are typically
what's the difference? between
some
a-
type of, well, patios on the ground. Typically, it's some type of stone, concrete paver, as where a deck is off the ground, built,
This is a deck.
typically constructed out of lumber, and has to meet building codes.
yes.
So, as we
By the
don't,
way, you made me look up the definition between a deck and a porch. A porch is the front entrance to a building, but typically is covered. So if you're not really building a porch that's an uncovered porch or a
That's just a
deck,
deck.
would be the appropriate way to describe
The
this.
intention was for it to be a deck, but it continues to be a deck.
okay. So, then as a deck, do they even need a special exception,
They
Lance?
do.
Because,
Oh, we just had that conversation.
right,
Um,
as a deck, the ordinance says if it's within 20, page 14, a deck says if the subject can't be more than 20 feet off the lake shore, retaining wall, high water mark, level or front or rear property line. And as a deck, this is 30 feet, 30.8 feet from the property line on Perch Rock Trail, 35 feet side yard setback.
but it still doesn't meet the 50-foot front yard setback.
But
I
it
know we
doesn't,
had this recently with
But it-
East Lake Rate.
but that was for, could a deck be within 20 feet of the lake was that case. This case is, we have an uncovered deck and by the way, I read this, and Ryan mentioned it in his question,
Yeah.
was if it's, the structure will not be within 20 feet of the front or rear property line as a deck. This is under the category of decks. So therefore, I don't think they even need a special exception.
Personally, I would recommend still making a ruling on it, but yeah, it's another one, how you interpret it.
I don't know how else you would interpret it, actually.
You're saying it's deck. Okay, well,
Let's go, I mean, I want to make sure we're
Yeah.
all on the same page here, because we want to do the right thing for the applicant, we want to do the right thing under the ordinance. So, so page 14, decks, patios, terraces, steps is the category. Decks, patios, terraces, steps needed for building access include accessibility features may be added to building within the Highland Lake District within the required setbacks provided. Letter B, well, setbacks provided, now what is that telling us? That's an interesting statement. Is that B, or is that the normal setback requirement? See, that's where these things are sometimes a little
I
bit
know.
vague.
that's why I was kind of interpreting it, that you still have to require the 50-foot setback requirement.
Okay, so, you know what? Under the ruling we made on East Lake,
Mhm.
we said it could be within, you're right, you're right. The 20 feet means under no circumstances can it be granted, period, end of story. But this still needs a special exception. I'm glad we talked through this again, Lance. Okay, we've got that sorted out. You're building a deck.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Yes. Well, the approval, or the motion we're going to make will be for an uncovered deck. So staircase and deck without a roof. Okay. Any other questions?
And just one, underneath, you're not planning on paving or anything, it's just gonna be open ground? Okay.
Ron, any questions?
I have nothing, no.
At this point, we would open it up to the public. Seeing nobody from the public, we'll give you the last word.
I don't have anything. to
Sorry for
say.
the confusion between patio and deck.
That's okay.
It's okay. At this time, we will close the public hearing and read into the record the motion to approve special permit per section 4-A of the zoning regulations for application number 23-2 to build an 11 by 13 deck to allow steps into the cottage, request for a 19.2 front yard setback as per the drawings for the property located at 221 Perch Rock Trail.
Second.
Any discussion?
Only question I have is, the plot plan that I have shows a deck that's no longer included with this?
Correct, that's gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can't actually ask any more questions at this point.
No,
but-
I'm asking you.
Well, we don't have any, we don't know whether that deck is still there or not on the right side, because it's not shown in this picture. It is still shown on the site plan, so,
But it's not shown on the revised site plan.
so I don't have a revised site plan, do I? Oh, it's over here. So Lance, we can ask you, which one of these site plans is the one we should be using? That will be entered, that will go into the record?
Is that the one with the green blob here?
Yeah. Yep.
When you walked the property, the deck was not there, right?
There was nothing there, no.
Okay, all right. I don't know that that affects too much what we're doing, but I hear you. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
4? Paul? Yes. Any opposed? I abstain. Congratulations, and sorry for the confusion.
That's right.
Appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, well, I'll keep it unless you want, but yeah.
Good night, happy holidays,
Thank you.
Same to you.
So, you know, it is interesting, Lance, that,
I know, we're gonna have to have another conversation about this, how to interpret it.
well, it's
'cause-
actually, no, the interpretation's correct.
Okay.
It's, what this is saying, what B is saying in the ordinance is, regardless of the setbacks, the variance cannot put it any closer than 20 feet.
Yep.
This is just a condition of what we're allowed to do in terms of a variance or any of that.
So originally, we did, I kind of caught the conversation they had with Jeff was if it was gonna be a variance, and he said because they weren't going before any closer than the house already was, really a special exception was appropriate.
Exactly, that I absolutely agree with. It's, the question was, did we need a special exception? And again, you have to read this
Right.
and understand what that 20 feet part is. That was the confusion, I think. so.
I have a question on that. So from the road here, it's showing it's 30.8 feet.
Right.
So where's the 20 feet?
50 feet is the requirement.
No, I understand. So this is existing, so.
Right, they needed a special exception because they already have, they're not going outside the current footprint of the house
Yeah,
in either direction.
yeah.
So they needed a special exception just to add on to an already non-conforming structure.
Understood. So the current house is not within the current.
Correct,
setbacks.
as is most everything in
Currently
the
not.
Highland Lake
Like-
District.
Like everything is,
Yeah.
yeah. And the deck, if it was to go on the side yard, can go within 9 feet of the
Correct.
property line.
Well, it still has to go,
That, if they could've had 50 feet back from the front, that would've been fine.
yes. So the way this reads is you still have the 50 feet, right? That's what's supposed to be there
In the front.
for the front. We can grant this 19-foot variance as long as it doesn't put it any closer than 20 feet to the road.
Oh, okay.
So in other words, we couldn't grant a 31-foot variance, because then it would be 19 feet to the road. That we can't do. That's what B is addressing here.
Understood.
So, you know, that limits how much the zoning board of appeals can actually grant the variance. We can't put it 6 inches off the road.
Yeah. And side to side though, is if they, for example, they want to switch this and put this on the side, it can go on the side as long as.
Yeah, side setback would put it at 35 feet. And what did they have?
Well, no,
They have 35 now.
they have
Yeah.
35 now, but with a deck, you can go nine feet.
We would have to still grant the variance.
Oh, even.
But
though-
like the 20-foot rule, we can't put it any closer than 9 feet. These are just restricting the variances that we can grant, is what page 14 does.
Gotcha, okay.
Sometimes if you read it quickly, you're like, what am I doing here?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, ZBA number 23-5333, we have a desire by the applicant to continue this to the January meeting.
That is because they are still going through the inland wetlands approval process.
Okay.
They'll have it this month, though, likely.
All right, so can I have a motion to postpone application ZBA number 23-5333, which is a variance application at 542 West Wakefield Boulevard. Owner is Lana Stemler, to build a garage with loft, 28.3 side yard setback. We're going to postpone this until the January 23rd meeting.
So moved.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Okay.
Ryan, were you the one who seconded? Okay, thank you.
Under new business, we have a 2024 ZBA schedule in your packet. There's been some changes, I think. Do you have the changes?
I just noted the Thursday, the 21st is,
The week of Thanksgiving.
too close to Thanksgiving, so we're gonna do it the, Tuesday, the November 26th is too close to Thanksgiving, so we're gonna put it Tuesday, November 19th. And that means that scheduled site walk would be the Thursday before. I don't know what the date is offhand, but
Well,
make that edit before I give it to the town clerk.
So the date is November 19th for the meeting, and you do it 5 days in advance?
True. So yeah, so that would be 14th.
13th?
13th.
13th. Don't count the weekends.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have packets early then?
Yeah, so I wanted to explain that to you. The deadline is always the first Thursday of the month, so technically we can have packets ready then. So you'll get them that next week when the public notice, the notice goes out in the paper, and then the week after that, we can do the site walk.
Okay.
So yep, you'll get your packets early now.
So we need to formally approve the schedule.
Yeah, unless you see any other conflicts, I mean, I can make any of these work. There's gonna be some dates I'm gonna be away, but, I have Bill Petroface on call. But as long as that works into you guys and,
So have a motion to approve the schedule for 2024 for the Zoning Board of Appeals, Winchester Zoning Board of Appeal meetings, with a one change to a site walk on November 13th rather than the 21st, and a meeting on Thursday, November 19th, 2024, rather than the 26th. Make a motion?
So moved, yeah.
Second?
second it.
All in favor? Opposed? Abstain? Your schedule is approved. I think we are decided to postpone election of the 2024 ZBA board meetings, as much of the board is absent tonight.
If you have an interest in serving as chair, vice chair, or secretary, please let me know.
Well, so, do we know which one of these gentlemen is moving into a regular role?
We were gonna talk about that too.
Okay.
So I found out from the town clerk, we do that in-house. So historically, it would be the person that has the most tenure, which you would offer to Paul. You don't have to accept it, but if you wanted to be full member, I don't know why you wouldn't.
Okay.
You could accept it, and then obviously we'll put you on for next meeting. I think I don't know if you have to go through the nomination part or not. I'll find out for that part, or if we just do it.
I think it's just an internal.
Okay, I think
Yeah.
that's what we did for Ellie, so I think
Yeah.
that's fine.
So next meeting, just get like
So
sworn
next
in,
meeting, you would
basically.
be, you don't have to get sworn in or anything.
You've already
you're
been
just-
sworn in, right?
We'll designate, we'll have an alternate vacancy, so.
Okay. That works. I
Yep.
accept.
Okay. And then, so you'll do elections for the officers in the January meeting.
January meeting, yep.
And then, and yeah, anybody who really wants to do that, Ryan, you wouldn't be eligible as an alternate, I don't think, to
No.
obviously be one of the officers, but anybody else that would like to do this?
Ron
Certainly.
wants to be chair, he said.
I have
I'm
enough
teasing.
problems at the condo association.
And then finally, you have on the agenda discussion regarding site visits for applications.
Yes, just so everyone watching is aware as well, we're obligated by law to offer the site visits to the public. So we'll be posting those as, they're not meetings, because when you're on site, you can't talk unless we're gonna keep minutes or, yeah. So essentially, it's just literally come see the site. You're supposed to be with staff. That's the whole point, is you not really have free reign on somebody's private property. So you go with staff, you see the site, make your observations. We're recommending not taking photographs unless honestly, what I think we can do in policy is just, as the project, if it needs it, then we'll either take the photos, or maybe we'll make it available to take some photos just when you're on site. But you're not supposed to talk to the applicants, you're not supposed to talk to each other while you're in that. It's literally just see what you see. You can look online, you can do aerial photos, you can do any kind of research that way, but technically you're supposed to go during the designated site walk, which is available to the public to participate. So we're doing that with all the boards, it's not just CBA.
Will there be an opportunity for special circumstances if you get, just using these dates as an example, if, I don't know what a good one would be, if the Thanksgiving week, whatever that is.
You
if
can't make it.
nobody can makes it,
Yeah, I can
Can you
be
schedule-
available. The reason why we were trying to do Thursday is because we're trying to do it during our work hours.
yeah,
And if Jeff were gonna be the one in my place, or Bill, I don't wanna really pay them overtime for that, it seems kinda crazy. But we can definitely make something work out.
Yeah, it's just
There's
hard
some
for
flexibility.
a lot of people on the
I
board to
get
get there at that hour.
I get it.
When did this come about at Lent?
So it's because went to, Jeff went to his ZEO training and he learned, and then I spoke with attorney Mark Halloran? No, yeah. Kind of like right back to back. So we both learned that we were doing it wrong. And just to cover the town, we should at least have this offered. And like I said, it's most of our projects, you guys know, you can see them, most of them from the road. But if you have to go into somebody's backyard or you have to do a little snooping, it is weird. And there's Ring cameras everywhere in town. So that's the other thing is people need to realize when you're out on somebody's property, they know it.
Do you notify the applicants at these times so they can be
Yeah.
aware we're coming?
Yep.
Yeah, it's critical that you can't discuss the application amongst ourselves, and you certainly can't talk to the applicant when it's happening, because everything's got to be in the public.
Correct.
Okay.
So we will figure it out, but
Can I ask a question?
yeah.
I know that the town employees have town badges.
Mm-hmm. You want a badge?
Why can't we get a badge? That would save
Ask.
a lot of confusion if you're up there standing in front of somebody's house.
Right.
Looking
Yeah,
at
because
it.
we've often gone and pulled up in front of, you're not in a town car, you're not
Right.
identified as anybody. You go, hey, I'm with zoning board of appeals, and they always go, oh, great, and then I go, hey, I can't talk to you if there's somebody left,
I always open up my packet and lay it out on the hood of my truck.
Right, that's what I
so
do,
they
bring
can
it
see
with you.
There you go.
that I'm looking at something.
Yeah, you look very official in the truck and with the packet, Ron.
Oh, you wanna see me with my hat on?
I can imagine. You got a yellow vest, too?
But I think the badges just give us one
That's a
more
good idea.
step of identification of who we actually are.
I think that's a great idea.
Like a
Let me
lanyard
ask.
or
I mean, it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
to ask him.
Yep, that'd be a great idea. All right, the minutes from October 24th, 2023. Is there any change of material fact? Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes from Zoning Board of Appeals meeting October 24th, 2023?
I make a motion to approve the meeting, October 24th, 2023.
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Thank you.
You are saying that.
Oh, I have to.
And
be
Ryan,
official.
I'll just explain to you, so I'm not taking all the minutes at the moment.
Yep.
What happens is because it's recorded from the audio and on YouTube, our land use clerk, who is Shane, why not, you'll meet her at some point. Actually, when we redo the regulations, you guys will all get the updated version of them too, so you'll meet Shane that way too. She does this on town time, takes the minutes from our meetings and is able to give better detail than what I was doing for a few months that I took it over. And you guys seemed happy, which is good.
Thank
And
you.
I think she's doing an amazing job personally. So I think they're helpful, and when we do have to refer back to the old minutes, we have the recordings too. And legally, that's really all you have to do. I talked to our town attorney, Kevin Nelligan. Sometimes less is more. I know some boards don't really want to hear that, but
There have been times when I've had to refer back to them. You
I
get
know.
an application that comes in from a property that was, we had 2 years earlier. It's nice to be able to go back and refresh.
I agree.
But
But I think this is a nice compromise, and it's not taking forever, so we're getting there. We have a much more efficient
no,
process.
it looks good.
How are we gonna handle Ryan on this one is postponed in here?
Are you a neighbor over there?
No,
Oh.
he doesn't know the information, he wasn't.
Oh, we'll get you the packet of information for it. Yep, you'll be able to be up to
Because I'll
speed.
review, that was 542 West. Was that on the,
542 West Wakefield Boulevard, and just so you know, if you're not familiar with the part, you can see the whole site from the road,
okay.
so you don't have to trespass to see it.
I'm pretty sure I'm familiar with where that is anyway.
So in order to, here's some of it. Yeah, I think that might be all of it, Brian. Okay. So, any correspondence, Lance?
No correspondence.
No
Sorry.
correspondence. Well, then I will like and entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained.
Excellent.
Thank you for letting me do this one more time.
We went about 1 minute longer than I thought we would for the application, and this is exactly what I thought you
It
would
was
do.
Ron's
So,
question.
Good job.
That's my
Very
question.
efficient meeting.
Usually is.